The Meteor Man. Recently I was up late thinking about what should I watch. Then all of a sudden I was thinking I'm about to do a rewatch of one of my favorite movies I used to like when I was growing up. You know what that movie was?
Meteor Man.
That's right, folks. The Meteor Man. A 90s classic, first of its kind, written and directed by the great Robert Townsend. Brother Bad, that's a bad brother right there. Before Blade ever hit the big screen, slashing and blasting vampires and protecting civilians from being gang-fanged in the back of a dark alleyway, the 93 streets of Washington, D.C. belonged to my man Jefferson Reed, the Meteor Man.
Meteor Man! Come here!
See, this was a movie that meant a whole lot to me while I was growing up, because I used to watch it with my brother all the time. Memories, laughing nonstop about some of the characters that was in it. I mean, the movie was a star-studded cast that felt like they was bringing in every brother in off the street that had a name. As I said before, Robert Townsend, Eddie Griffin, Sinbad, Naughty by Nature, Bill Cosby, John Witherspoon, James Earl Jones, Don Cheadle, Marla Gibbs, ABC, BDK, Luther. They even got my man Luther in it. And he was a cold mother too. Woo, that was a cold mother right there, boy. Luther was crazy. He didn't say a single word. It was one of the most coldest brothers in the movie. While some might consider this movie a guilty pleasure, I don't feel guilty at all. Yeah, I mean, the box office numbers was low. It only made $8 million out of a $20 million budget domestically. But the greatness of some movies can't be reflected purely off the numbers. Overall, I gotta say is how the story resonated with me. Being a young black kid, but then it's not just being black. You can be white or other, you know what I mean? It was just a good movie with a lot of solid laughs. I mean, it just makes for a really fun movie. The movie starts out with Jefferson Reed being a school teacher in DC. The neighborhood is being terrorized by these brothers called the Golden Lords, led by Simon Kane, and he's allied with Anthony Byers, a drug lord. But we could just call him Mr. Byers. One night, Jeff decides to step in to help some lady being terrorized by the young Golden Lords. While trying to help, more of the gang members ambush him in the alleyway, and he decides to hide in the dumpster for hours. He finally steps out of the dumpster, turns around, and immediately sees a meteorite coming his way. Unable to outrun it, he gets hit with it straight in his torso, and it kind of fuses into his body, and he absorbs it, immediately falling to the ground. A couple days later, he wakes up in the hospital with bandages all over his face because he got pretty bruised up. Once the doctor decides to take the bandages off, he's completely healed. Everybody's wondering what's going on. The lead doctor tries to show off in front of all his peers and try to explain what it could be, how he's healed, but Jefferson manages to prove the doctor wrong just by touching his medical book. Once he touches any book, he can absorb the information inside and spit it right back to him word for word. So now he's figuring out that this meteorite gave him superpowers. X-ray vision, laser vision, superhuman strength, speed, healing powers, invulnerable to any type of damage, and then he also has telepathy. He can talk to his own dog. After another dangerous run-in with the gang, he's forced to show off his superpower to defend himself. His parents will soon get word of what he's capable of, so he decides to confide in them and tell them what happened to him. All they would manage to do was try to convince him to use his powers to help the community. So Moms went straight to work. She designed a costume for him, gave him the name the Meteor Man. I mean, my man shut down 15 crack houses, stopped 11 robberies, and he brought together peace between the police, the Crips, and the Bloods. My man even started a super enhanced vegetable garden in the hood where people could buy enlarged vegetables and produce. The brother was legit. Around the neighborhood, the Golden Lords is trying to figure out, who is this Meteor Man? He cutting into my business.
I mean, is this a joke? What is that?
So they go on a mission to figure out his secret identity. One evening at a neighborhood gathering, the Golden Lords pull up, try to ambush him in front of the neighbors, try to start letting off shots all over everybody. He manages to do some kind of superhero Wonder Woman stuff to stop all the bullets from hurting everybody, and when the Golden Lords drove off, he saw blood, so he figured he was losing power. The word's going around town, and that's all Simon needed to hear.
He's losing his powers.
So he figured he'll go for one more ambush. Jeff is prepared to leave town because he can't defend himself anymore after losing his power. And now he's on the hook because the Golden Lords is after him. Plus, after the neighbors realized he was losing his powers, they pretty much forced him out of the community because they figured maybe we can make a deal with the Golden Lords. Before leaving, Jeff gives the neighbors a little speech about believing in themselves and fighting for their beliefs. Later on, while Jeff is saying his goodbyes before leaving town, Simon approaches his building, calling his name. Jeff walks outside, prepared to defend himself against Simon. Simon, preparing to shake Jeff's hand, tell him he's won and he's going to New York, so he don't want no drama with him. Jeff, while preparing to shake his hand, surprisingly gets headbutted by him, and then all of a sudden World War III breaks out. Fight in the street, everybody going crazy. Jeff is getting broke off up and down the street. I mean, Jeff looks so bad that he looks like Martin after the charity boxing event with Thomas the Hitman Hearn.
Never.
The neighbors are watching Simon wipe the floor with him, and then they decide to intervene and start throwing all kind of stuff from the windows. Mr. Moses, he threw a record at him. Bill Cosby, a homeless man with a bunch of dogs, manages to have a piece of the meteorite that hit Jeff that day that he first got his powers. While the fight is going on, the meteorite manages to fall on the ground near Jeff, and Simon gets wind of it, so both of them leap at the meteorite, touching it with one hand. The meteorite would explode or do something, I don't know, but they both will wind up with powers, and the battle picks back up again. This time, they both superhuman. From this point, the fight is just awesome because there's so many laughs. You gotta watch it to really appreciate what's happening at current moment.
What are you doing this, man? Look at all this black on black crime.
Yeah, I'm giving away a lot of spoilers. I'm essentially telling you the whole story, but you gotta be there to watch the movie and take in all the little quick humor moments and just the little things that goes on. It's really a good watch. It's hilarious. We talking about Vogue dance-offs, karate sparring. The comedic moments is priceless. This is not an Avengers movie. This is not none of those action movies you see today. This is just fun. It's just fun, man. It's a fun experience. But just to close out the way the movie ended, just because I told you most of it anyway, Meteor Man would manage to subdue Simon and the Golden Lords, absorb the rest of his remaining power, and send the infamous drug lord Mr. Byers and his constituents running after being approached by gang members on rooftops ready to ride for my man Meteor Man. But then he would soon be caught by the police. So Mr. Byers and Luther and the rest of them are probably in prison doing life on the RICO charges, if we're being honest. Possibly the death penalty. And the day is saved and the movie would end on a good note. That's the best description I can give you for the movie, but I would really encourage you to check it out if you haven't seen it. It is to die for. That movie is hilarious. It's a classic, hold dear to me, as I said before, and you will not regret the watch. Especially if you're really into cult following kind of cheesy flicks. And I wouldn't even say it's cheesy, but you gotta experience it. It's a vibe. It's funny. It's funny. It's you know, if you like humor, it's funny. It's a classic. Y'all be good.